Okay.
Hello.
So, by now, probably everybody has heard of the very awful, very saddening news.
You lost your wedding ring.
Alex Trebek passed away.
Who is he?
Alex Trebek?
Yeah.
God,
I know
man,
Sean Connery-
You know how to make a depressing
Sean Connery
news
passed
even
away.
more depressing. God.
Sean
Alex
Connery is-
Trebek? You don't know who Alex Trebek is?
Who is Alex? Alex who?
Who is Alex? That answers the question. Jeopardy? You know Jeopardy?
I heard of it. We don't have it here.
No, like
Yeah, it's a game show.
spoiled milk for 400.
No, it's not very big here.
It's big everywhere.
Here it
It
wasn't.
is one of the biggest game shows in the world.
Yeah, but here
it's like
it never
Wheel
made
of
it.
Fortune, Jeopardy.
It never made it here.
Well, anyway, it's a huge.
So he was the host.
huge. Yeah, I think it still goes. It's still going today, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think yours is
not
recording.
is not
Is not recording. Yeah.
all right, now it is.
Okay.
So
So let's start from the beginning. Hello. No. I'm kidding.
yes. No. So anyway, it's very
Yeah.
sad news. He
Okay.
died at 99. Apparently, 99. That's very.
Sean Connery's sad news
Yeah, Sean Connery. But the real sad news.
is that Iran is
this
gonna
one
kill us all.
Donald Trump. Bye
yeah.
bye.
Look,
Why do you have to go down crying like a little baby?
I actually it's painful because I lost a bet to my friend Effie.
You said he was going to take it?
Sorry,
You said he was going to take
I
it?
said he was. Yeah, I bet 1 to 10. So I put 10 shekels and he put 100 shekels.
And he got your 10 shekels.
He got, but here's the painful part.
Not a
He
bad.
made me donate it to the new Israeli fund.
Oh, no.
It was so painful.
Well, at least it was only 10 shekels.
Yeah, I know.
That's rough.
But yeah, it was very painful. But I did it because I'm a man.
In your name or anonymously?
You gotta put your name there.
No, you can
So that-
donate sometimes anonymously.
Not on their website though.
I see.
No, now they know.
I see.
Now,
Because that's what
Yeah.
all the the woke SJWs like to do.
what's
They
SJW?
social justice warriors.
okay.
They like to donate in the name of like various senators
Alex
or
Jones.
politicians that they hate
Uh-huh.
to like Planned Parenthood.
Oh, okay.
So like they try to defund Planned Parenthood. And
So I should have
they
put your
donate
name,
in
is
their
what you're
name.
saying.
Yeah, exactly.
That's yeah.
And then there would have been
Next
a
time.
plaque.
Next time I lose on a bet.
What do you get for 10 shekels though? You get a plaque on the bathroom door, donated by.
You know,
Norman
I bought a
Edgar.
meal to a terrorist probably or something like that.
Wow, you took it too far. So
Anyway, so yeah, it was. Look here. The thing is, though, I have friends who still believe this isn't over.
it's not. Look, even if there are, unless there's two scenarios that like are possible, right? There was massive voter fraud, which is just, I mean, it's not actually possible, right? That's what you could hope for. Massive voter fraud. There's not like, I don't
The
see that
numbers aren't
happening.
there.
No, there were hundreds of thousands of mail-in ballots that were counted afterwards. I mean, if you look at the flips that happened suddenly, it amounts to hundreds of thousands, if not 1 million votes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard for me to believe that those votes were faked. Maybe they were sent in like within a time window that is not like customary, or maybe they were allowed to be counted when I don't know. But it's hard for me to believe that usually when you have these like legal battles or these recounts, I mean, what happened in the end in Florida with Bush and Gore, and shifted couple hundred of votes
Right.
from one end to
Here
the other.
it's tens of thousands
Yeah,
of votes.
it's never going to be in the thousands or tens of thousands.
Let's take a break and say we're also on Arutz Sheva, IsraelNationalNews.com right now
Yes.
on their website. So thank you for having us. But also,
Yes, we are sponsored by The Forward. So go to forward.com/2njb, guys. The Forward is a great news source for getting news, opinion, pieces, podcasts, all through a Jewish lens.
If you go to their website and subscribe, you get a discount and you help the show.
Yes, so
You support us.
forward.com/2njb, you get an exclusive for our podcast listeners, 67% off. You get 6 months for $10.
Yep.
Help support the podcast. Check them out, forward.com/2njb.
And go to Arutz Sheva, israelnationalnews.com, like them on Facebook. Follow them everywhere because they have amazing content.
And while we're at it, we do this on our free time. So if you want to help us out,
Yes.
2njb.com/donate.
Anyway, so yeah, but let's talk about how long it took. It is ridiculous, though, right?
Yeah.
So
It's
long.
It is. I wonder if there's any precedent in history. I don't think there is for the election
And even
being
now,
counted.
it's not official, right?
Yeah,
Like,
no, it isn't. It's never official until December 14th when the electors go to Washington
Right.
and vote. So it's never, that's when the actual decision of who is president of the United States is made.
Right.
But
Doesn't every state say, like, our winner is, like, the guy who got the most
all
votes?
but Maine and Nebraska, I think.
Right.
Maine and Nebraska actually split their electoral votes. But yeah, they usually decide, but technically I don't think there's any law that requires all the electors to vote one way or the other.
It's a tradition.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly the details of it. I know that Maine and Nebraska do split their electoral votes. And that for the past who knows how many elections, all the other states have always gone one way. They declare it, but it's not official until the 14th of December when the electorate college votes. Yeah, so but it's hard to imagine it going any other way at this point. Right. He's taken. They've called Pennsylvania
and Nevada.
Georgia even flipped towards Biden. I think the only thing that's still in question is North Carolina, right? He doesn't have enough. And I just wonder, why is he like going down kicking and screaming? Like, really?
Yeah.
Is this
Looks
what you want
very
your
bad.
legacy to be?
Doesn't look too good. Yeah.
It doesn't, but I guess you can't expect the Trump presidency to end any other way, right?
Yeah. But you said it that it's a very embarrassing loss for him in the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, look, there's circumstances, right? There's Corona, 200,000 deaths, which we've talked plenty about, and I don't know if I would blame Trump for them, but obviously it's going to be very hard to swing it
And
in
the
your
media
favor.
that unpredictably
attacks him.
was
So
against him.
there's circumstances, but in the end, you're an incumbent. And to lose in an incumbent is like, you have to be an especially big loser to do that.
Yeah.
The last one was, I think, George Bush the senior.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in my eyes, he's a huge loser. I like the stuff that he did in the 4 years while he was in it, but like, it's like, couldn't you have pulled through? Like, I mean, like, what does it take to win?
Yeah, he didn't. Yeah, the campaign wasn't good enough. They didn't. I think they failed. Their main failure as a campaign was to suppress the Biden voters, right? Which is a huge part of winning an election, is to make sure the other side's voters don't feel like going on and vote for the other candidate, because
to demotivate or to suppress, because they're two like very
depends on the guy in the end.
Things, you know what I mean?
Some people need to demotivate. People need to. It depends on what's your like. If you're really pro Biden, so you really want to plant some doubts in a voter's mind, and if you're like just hanging in there and not sure, then like some messages in the sense of, yeah, he's gonna win anyway, you shouldn't go. You know, there's many ways to go at it. But
I see.
But
reverse psychology.
Yeah, which leads to the tweet I sent you today, right?
Yeah.
The differences between
the polls
and the actual final results.
Yeah, the outcomes.
Now, there are two arguments to be made. One argument is in key states, okay, if like publishing false polls, misleading numbers, can make Trump supporters to say it's lost, like there's no point. On the other way around, the Biden campaign can say these numbers make them put stress on the Trump voters, and then they'll be more motivated.
And there was actually a higher turnout.
Yes, but it doesn't really matter. The point is, it colludes, to me. It colludes with elections.
You mean it taints the election? Like
Yeah.
it. Well, but you can't. What's the other option? To stop polling or to disallow people from
No,
free association
look,
and free press
no,
around?
of course, I'm not.
Then you have like the situation you have here in Israel, the ridiculous situation in my eyes.
No, but the reporting
where you like actually, what is it? You prohibit candidates from propagandizing on election day.
Yeah,
or,
no,
it's crazy.
Pollsters can do what they do, but I think it's the media's responsibility to clarify.
Add a
how,
huge asterisk next to it.
Yeah, basically. And instead, they've been, pumping it, and like it's the results.
But you can't expect the media. I mean, they are part of. I mean, right? NBC, I think, has polls. Real Clear Politics. A lot of these polls are tied to the media, and the ones that aren't, they're very clear. They very clearly have an agenda. I mean, you can't. It's like, you know what I mean. Like I agree with you ideally, but it's an expectation that's not necessarily
so they have
realistic.
an agenda. So I mean,
you have to wonder if
but either you have an agenda or you're a professional. If you're a professional,
no, of course, but that's what I'm saying. That's the big question here. And I don't think that you can be a rational human being and not question, at least. I mean, to me, it seems clear, but not question whether the pollsters have an agenda, most of them. Right. I think there were some out there like Rasmussen and Trafalgar that were fairly accurate, but some of these polls were off by like 12 points.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
That's just crazy.
Yeah. So if you're a propaganda company, a media and propaganda company, then you should be treated as a media company and not as a polling company. That's, I think, to me, it's very, very, very basic
It definitely
stuff.
has psychological effect too, right? There's the winner wagon effect, right? Jumping on the wagon.
Yes.
Yeah, but you never know it's one of those things where you'll never know what the effect was.
Yeah.
And so
Also, Trump made a huge mistake. Like his campaign was, we're winning. We're doing great in key states, right? What he should have done is take Bibi's approach, the famous Gewalt campaign. Here in Israel, we have this term.
Ever since last election.
No, it's a very old concept. The Gewalt campaign. Yeah, it's an old concept.
The Gewalt campaign or
Yes.
Gewalt? It's really.
Yes, it's older than
okay.
Yes, but Netanyahu made an art out of it, and basically the principle is, you say a few days before election, you say that's it, we're losing. If you don't go out and vote, they will rise, and we will all die. Essentially,
Yeah.
This will be the end.
Short of saying like it's done, it's over, don't even leave your houses.
Yeah.
That's a Gewalt
Yes.
campaign. It's
Yes.
like saying everything but that.
Yeah. And Bibi would go on live and would say, "Look, guys, we're losing. That's it. Like
Yeah.
it's done." And people would get freaked out and go and vote.
Yeah.
And it worked every time. Like it's just
It worked and it didn't work every time.
but it did work, and that's what I think. What Trump should have done is be so. Instead, he went with, we got it, and that might have made some people very apathetic.
Apathetic. I don't know. It's a good question why he lost. I don't know. I think there's two big things that are up, right? That are like candidates. One is Corona. I think Corona was a huge player here, right? 200,000 deaths.
Yeah.
Huge unemployment.
With Corona, most struck by Corona were the countries where he won, by the way.
No.
So I read. No?
New York.
Yeah, no, but
California.
states with current highest numbers.
Yeah, okay, maybe. I don't know. I'm not up to date with it, but I think Corona 200,000 deaths, huge unemployment, obviously the downturn in the economy is a huge effect, right? On cuz that was his winning ticket and he lost it. So that was a big one. But there's also something to be said about the fact that like Trump, like who Trump is, right? Like why he won in the first place. And maybe it's a spark that burns bright and burns short, right? You know what I mean? Like Trump won back in 2016, I think largely because of his persona and his personality. And I think people got fed up with it.
One trick pony.
Yeah, I think people were like, okay, we've had enough of this Trump. We were like they weren't anti enough, because one of the big things that I think happens in an election is you're not really necessarily voting for someone as much as you're voting against someone. And in 2016, people hated Hillary Clinton. People hated the Democratic Party. People hated the establishment. People hated so much about Washington that they went out in droves to vote for Trump. And he won by not a landslide, but he won by a lot. I think that's what like really took him, is that he's just not like, it's not the same. There's no Trump effect anymore. Biden's this guy who's like, seems harmless, and you know, Trump's still the same asshole. And they're like, okay, let's go back.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Dov, let's hope for the best. I just read I'm not sure if it's accurate, but I read the tweet that Barack Ravid allegedly posted. I haven't checked, but that Trump and Netanyahu are planning on a huge blow of sanctions against Iran in the months before Trump departs. So that should be interesting. Yeah.
Wow. Like a final blow,
Yeah.
final hit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Could
That'd
be
be
cool.
interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, a Biden presidency is gonna be scary. It's not really scary.
Yeah.
I
No,
mean,
we'll be
like,
fine.
it's not gonna be the end of the world. Yeah.
No, but yeah, it will be. Look, worse than Obama for us. It can't really get.
It could. That's the thing. Is the pendulum swings, right? So
Yeah.
it swings one way, it's gonna swing back full force, and it might go further. One of the things that like kind of terrifies me is the fact that he's old, man. He's the oldest president in American history, 78.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have all his faculties about him, right? He seems like, we saw it in the campaign. He spoke pretty coherently and eloquently the night of, or at least when they announced just now. And since he's been taking an upturn, I think you can attribute that to adrenaline. But once the adrenaline wears off, like he's gonna be old Joe again. Then you get Kamala Harris. Like, I don't want to say the words if he, but if
I don't think it'll happen.
you don't think so?
No, I mean, there's always a chance, right? But I think he'll make it.
He'll pull through.
He'll pull through.
We just need you to pull through, Joe. That's all.
Yeah.
You can do stupid shit, but just pull through.
Yeah. Anyway, so we went out of lockdown,
Yes.
more or less.
IKEA's still not open.
IKEA's still not open, and I have a credit of 250 shekels in IKEA that I need to.
It doesn't feel like Corona's over until IKEA comes back.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they opened shops now. Although the food markets are not open yet. It's a whole mess. But before the lockdown ended, I just had to get a haircut. Okay. Did you? What did you do?
Dude.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
For those listening, I pointed at my head.
Yeah.
I'm
Not
shaven.
much there.
Not much there. I just do it with the machine now on my own.
I see. That's very cost effective.
It is actually.
But I had to get a haircut,
So,
so
who'd you
I
go
called my
to?
barber.
You have a barber.
I have the local neighborhood, your friendly neighborhood barber,
Okay.
Leo. So I'm calling Leo, and he's just come. I'm like, to your home, because now barbers have been doing secret home cutting.
Black market barbers.
Yeah. He said, no, their usual place. Okay, so I'm coming to the usual place in the street, right?
Yeah.
And it's closed. So I'm like calling him, and he's like, Yeah, come out of the bed. Come out to the back.
Come-
Okay. Didn't I tell you this?
No.
Okay, so going to the back, and I'm knocking on the door, and it has this shades, right, like in a film noir, and someone is like pushing down one of the shades. It looks at me, and then they unlock the door. I'm stepping inside, and that's
No
the
way.
thing. I'm seeing, okay, it's dark. You have three savtas, three grandmothers sitting in the dark
Getting a
with their
perm.
rolls,
Oh,
waiting
that's
for the
amazing.
collar to dry.
That's amazing.
In
Arrest them
silence.
all. Arrest them all.
In silence, okay? The barber's like, yes, come, sit. One of the savtas is like, hey, Mazal, do you? And the barber goes, shh, quiet. Not so loud, please, not so loud.
Please tell me like a SWAT team showed up, kicked down the doors.
Listen, it was surreal.
Oh,
It
my
was surreal. And
God.
he told me, look, if I have to put food on my table, if I need to, I'll rob a bank. I don't give a beep.
Yeah.
You
If
know?
push people to that.
That was one of the most surreal experience in my life.
Yeah.
Sitting there in the dark, I felt for the first time I felt like my grandparents felt in Romania in the 60s and 70s.
It's just, I mean, that's hilarious and terrifying and sad on the other.
Many
end.
barbers
And
didn't make it, by the way. Didn't make it to the
People don't internalize that.
yeah.
People like they don't. I feel like they just don't think about it. I don't know all the way through. They don't like they hear lockdown, right, and restrictions, and it seems like these harmless measures that people lost their businesses.
Yeah, so I was sitting with a bunch of friends and trying to make the Eitan argument. And I got stuck in the point where my friend was, when I telling the friend, maybe the state shouldn't take
Be
care
involved.
of, and his point was, until the governments came, you had shit in the streets. And then the government came and they built sewage. Why sewage, yes, and health and virus, no.
That's such a simplistic argument for so many reasons. When was the date when the government was like, we're going to solve sewage? Please.
1851.
No, it probably did not just happen like that. Yeah, governments did a lot of stuff throughout history because governments held power and there wasn't freedom. People didn't have the freedom that you have today in most Western democratic first world countries. But today we have an agreement where we outsource violence to the government. We give them a monopoly on power, and we take care of the rest. The government did everything back in the day.
But they still take care of sewage.
Well,
the
yeah,
way.
maybe one day we'll solve that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that everything that the government is taking care of can be taken care of better by private enterprise.
The head of Corona here in Israel, Dr. Gamzu, said, I wish they will find the lawful way to force everyone to, what was it?
take a corona test.
To take a Corona test, yes.
Yeah. I wish they'll find a lawful way, which just goes to show it's like the ends justify the means, right? It's like, I wish they'll find a lawful. That's not what you wish. You have to ask yourself if something is lawful. You don't like decide you want to do something and say, let's find a lawful way to do it. It's like, I wish I find a lawful way to kill my neighbor. What? That's not how law works. There is lawful things and unlawful things. You do the lawful things, you don't do the unlawful things.
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't.
Yeah,
people don't think about
and
the things
today
they say.
the woman who's responsible on public health, Dr. Sharon El-Roi, said that with the opening of the shops, third lockdown is inevitable.
We can't have people, engaging in private business willy nilly. It's just it's crazy.
In the meantime, Europe is going to hell,
Yeah,
more or less. Yeah,
Yeah.
Italy, almost 40,000 cases yesterday.
they're
It's
probably
insane.
going into another lockdown now.
thing is, they simply can't. First of all, they have riots. People are just not willing in Italy. In Germany, there are riots. In Leipzig yesterday, there was huge riots. People are just not willing. Europeans, unlike us, they know what non-democracy is.
Yeah.
And they just won't have it. They just won't have
Yeah.
it. So governments there are in a huge problem because they cannot push the lines with the citizens too much. And the economy in Italy is just devastated. And the country is doomed. Let's more or less.
Because that's what happens when you hold your government responsible for Corona, right? Is you basically force them to take actions like
to
that.
fail.
You force them to fail. Exactly. When you like want to constantly outsource responsibility, then that's what you get. Is you get people making bad decisions and behaving within chaos in order to cover, as you say in Hebrew, cover their asses, right? Because like the government, it's not their job to deal with Corona, and you're telling them deal with it. And they're like, okay, let me deal with it the best way I know, which is really badly, which is just shut down everything. And then you're going to get this cycle everywhere. And that's why from the beginning I said that I know that 200,000 people died, and over 200,000, it's closing on, I think, 250,000 people in the States died from Corona. But it's, in my eyes, they dealt with it the best, which is they stuck to their guns. They stuck to their values, which are freedom. People do what they want to do. Sometimes nature bites you in the ass. Sometimes you get a tsunami. It's like why is the Thai government not responsible or the Indonesian government not responsible for why didn't they build anti-tsunami measure? It's like sometimes nature screws you. And that's always been true. You just got to deal with it. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Right now, I'm pretty I'm happy with the numbers here in Israel. It's very comforting, to have like a couple of hundred of cases a day. I wish they opened a little bit more and try to keep it that way.
You're in the middle ground.
Yeah.
Do what we got to do. Try and keep it under control. Yeah, I get that.
I feel safer when I go out and mingle and work outside, and I feel safer because I know the odds. Unlike a month ago or 2 months ago,
I had a moment of cognitive dissonance the other day when I was in the supermarket, and I was picking fruit and vegetables, and this guy comes up to the fruit and vegetable stand. He's this older gentleman. He's on his phone, and he's like, he's just speaking really loudly. No mask, spitting all over the place. And I was about to be like, "Excuse me, sir, could you please put on a mask?" But then I was like, "Wait a second, you gotta do what you preach." So I didn't say anything to him because, I don't think that he.
And now
should
you have
be
the
required.
virus, and you're infecting me, probably as we speak.
But it is what it is.
It's gonna be historic because it's gonna be maybe the first time an actual infection is being recorded live on
Via
YouTube.
podcast. Yes. That's what we should rename the episode.
Getting infected with
One
Eitan and Or.
It's if we name it. I was thinking one Jewish boy infects another,
and then the subline is
a lot of bad
we
views.
wish it were HIV.
Oh God.
Okay.
Speaking of my wedding ring.
Yeah.
My wedding ring was lost. You know this.
Yes, I was a witness.
For those of you who can't see, I'm not wearing the wedding ring, and thanks to Corona, I wasn't able to buy another one. I wanted to buy another one. On the other hand, I'm torn because I want the original.
Yeah.
But I want to find it.
Our guest, which we're going to publish, telling us...
that gold is the worst thing you can do to the planet. Yeah.
So you went to Sharon and you were like, baby, I'm going to buy you a plastic ring.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you slept on the...
diamond.
With the homeless guy downstairs.
Diamonds just aren't environmentally friendly.
Yeah, well...
So I'm going to get you
a fake
plastic crystal. No CO2 footprint.
Guys, we had a guest. The episode is going to be published soon.
Rabbi Jonathan Nero. Actually, super interesting conversation.
He wrote
We
this
kid.
book.
We kid.
Echo Bible.
Yes.
About environmentalism and
Judaism.
Bible. Yeah.
Where Judaism meets
Yeah.
environmentalism.
So explain
It's
to us
very
about
interesting.
gold being so environmentally.
Yeah, because they use this method that uses cyanide to sift out the gold
yeah.
flakes from soil.
Yeah.
Anyway, stay tuned for that one.
Yeah. So you lost it. Like
I
what
lost
was it? Like
I lost
2 weeks.
I lost it in my car though. I know for a fact that it's in my
I was
car.
there.
Yeah, you were there.
But the thing about
So I play with it. I played with it for the month I had it. I play with the wedding ring. I take it on and off, and I was driving, and then the light. I was at a red light playing with it, and then the light turned green, and it was in my hand, and I don't know, something happened, and I fumbled.
unlike other ring, with this one you should not play.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I can't get back on after that. Anyway, so I had it in my hand, and it fell out, and it fell between the emergency brake and like fell in one of the holes in the car. So it's like in there. It's like in the chassis of the car. And
But why didn't you go and put it in the garage and challenge them to find it?
I think I did
deconstruct-
inadvertently convince the car wash gentleman to steal it. That was a mistake on my end. I shouldn't have told them about it, but
You were like, if you find the wedding ring.
it was like a paradox, because it was like I didn't want to tell him about it, but then if I didn't tell him and he found it, then he might have been like, okay. But I thought maybe if I told him about it and he found it, then he wouldn't feel okay with hiding it.
But what you should have done is take it to the mechanic before you take it on a like what's more important, washing your car or taking it to the mechanic to recover your lost ring?
I don't know. Anyway,
You would have been a bad Frodo.
Yeah, probably. I would not have
Made it to Mordor.
Mordor, no, definitely. So I still haven't found it, but soon. So, tell us about your
Yes.
post. Naor had a little
Let's see if it's up yet.
debacle with the Israeli Public Broadcasting Corporation, in which you posted
The Israeli PBS.
basically the Israeli
Khan.
NPR. Well,
NPR.
PBS actually, because they also have TV and they have radio and they have. So basically, there's a Facebook group for this podcast, which is publicly funded. The podcast is publicly funded. The Facebook group is managed by the Israeli Public Broadcasting Corporation, and it was open to posts for the public.
Yes, okay. So it's it's like
Economic podcast.
Yeah, free
Planet
economic
Money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's a podcast made by Khan, the Israeli PBS, NPR. And here's what happened. So back to so let's a bit of a how do you call it? Pre-story, preface. Yes. So we had 2 lockdowns, right? So they basically shut down the entire economy, and how they dealt with the fact that we have hundreds of thousands of unemployed was telling people, listen, we're gonna pay your absence until June or August.
Telling companies actually,
2021.
Right?
Yeah.
Basically, they were saying, put your employees on unpaid leave and
Yeah.
we'll pay them. You don't
Yeah.
need to pay them.
Yeah. So you have what you have is hundreds of thousands of unemployed who are on paid leave. And the absurd is that right now, some people who worked in pretty lucrative jobs can basically do nothing, sit at home, enjoy life, go to the beach until August or June or July, I don't remember exactly, and get like
3,500 shekels a month, basically.
No, it can be much more. It can be even 7,000 shekels.
Depending on their
How much you made.
Yeah.
But
No,
anything.
the ironic part is that it's called unpaid leave.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah.
getting so
It's
many
a paid,
people.
unpaid leave.
Yes, it's paid unpaid. So many people in Israel are saying I'm on chalat, which is chufsha lelo tashlum, unpaid leave,
But they're being paid.
but they're being paid.
Yeah. So yeah. So and then so of course the economy channel of the NPR is pretty socialist, and one of the reporters there made a video for Facebook in which she basically said about.
She.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
said, Tzlil Avraham, she said, basically that young people our age, right, who studied like have a profession, who are sitting at home, they have the right to sit at home and get taxpayers' money until they find a job that is fit to their abilities.
Yeah, and another thing that she said, which was quite ridiculous, is like, who would want? She basically asked, like sarcastically,
Yeah.
who would want to stay home for
7,000 shekels.
No, 3,500, which is like the minimum that you
Yeah.
get. Who would stay home for 3,500 shekels a month? Come on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, with that sum, guys, you can pay for a room in Tel Aviv, your room. And
Yeah, you can pay for a really nice room in
Yes.
Tel Aviv for that. But
Yeah.
if you want to also have money left over, you can get a pretty chill room in Tel Aviv and still have 1,000 shekels, maybe
Yeah.
even 1,500 left
And
over.
her point was that the jobs available are, degrading.
But wait, before we move on, not to speak of living in Haifa. Or in,
Of course.
you can live like a king in Haifa
Yes.
for 3,500
For
shekels.
3,500 shekels in Haifa, you can live like
You
a
can
king.
live and
You can live
save.
by your own
Yeah.
in a like a 2-bedroom apartment and have money for expenses and everything.
But you could
and-
live with a roommate and save probably 500 shekels a month.
No, much more.
Much
more. Anyway, but her point was the jobs available right now are degrading. And people who studied professions like film and sociology and whatnot, they have the right to work on their profession. And if there's no job in their profession, then they should stay at home and get paid until August. That's their born right. Okay?
After all, the Central Committee told me to study filmmaking.
Yes.
I must make
I was
films.
promised by government I will have job until I die.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so I
So-
made a video, and in which I basically said that she's wrong because we don't know if some jobs will ever be back, and we shouldn't pay until the summer to young people who can work now, being delivery boys, cleaning houses, doing whatever they want. But the point is, if they knew the party is going to end at some point, they would be motivated to work. And like it's a chicken and egg situation.
Yeah.
Because why would they work and move the economy if they get free money?
Yeah.
And I gave examples for young people who chose to innovate, make new businesses, and work, and they did very well for themselves.
And other people, I have to say, commented on this post, and
I put this post on the group.
Yeah, so he posted. You made a video.
I
yeah,
made this video and posted it on this Facebook group of the podcast.
of the public podcast. Now, many people obviously disagreed.
Yes.
Many people agreed.
Yes.
Many people gave examples of friends they had that had also gone on unpaid leave.
There was a huge
unpaid
discussion
paid
going on.
leave, and like they know people that were living happily on this summer money. There was a vibrant discussion.
Yes, and then
with
the
people on all
admin
sides.
was the head of the economic desk on Khan, on the PBS.
Yeah.
He blocked the comments, killing
Yeah.
the conversation, saying, I'm the dictator of this group, and this is a condescending video, and you shouldn't post videos to
Now,
this group.
the reason this is a big deal in my eyes is because this guy, his name is Shaul Amsterdamski, is one of the leading economic commentators in Israel.
And he has a daily show
Yeah.
about economy in which every day
Yeah.
he has this opening video where he's judging and criticizing
yeah.
the entire world and his son
And
as
its
they say-
sister.
and its sister, as they say in Hebrew.
Yeah.
Yes,
No, he
is allowed to criticize everyone.
He has a great platform, and you know what? I'll even go as far as to say that he made his way to that place where he has this platform, and you know, kudos to him for working and pushing through
Yeah.
and making and being successful.
Yeah,
But the point is that this guy has such a platform. He is one of the leading voices in Israel, and he's so extremely socialist, anti-free speech.
anti-democracy.
You know, I won't go as far as that, but yeah, maybe you could say that he's anti-democracy, but he's clearly against people being freely able to express their opinions on a public channel.
So I hit him up on a private chat, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Shaul, why did you just wanted to know? Like, this is a public group. It belongs to Khan. Khan is financed by the government, so I pay for this group. It's everyone's. It's the public's group. Why did you block my post?" And
he shut down. He didn't. He didn't.
He shut
delete
down
your
the
post.
comments.
He shut down the comments
which
to
is
your post.
in a group on Facebook. This means killing a
Killing a
post, because
post,
then
yeah.
it goes down to oblivion.
It's a clever way to kill it.
Yeah, and he was like, "This is by no means public. This group by no means belongs to Khan, to the channel. It's a private group. I own it.
We manage it on our free time.
Yes, it's ours. And you
Like,
came
you don't
and
have free time.
he said, yeah,
I'm your boss.
he said,
Who told you had a break?
he said to me, you came to my living room and you threw up on my furniture.
Meaning he sees.
My video
No, he sees that channel
as
as
his living room, and the video is
throw up. That's offensive, but whatever. He
Yes.
wants to call your video vomit. That's
Yeah.
free speech.
Yes.
But the idea that he thinks that the Facebook group of this publicly funded podcast is his living room
Yeah.
is just ridiculous.
So I was so infuriated. So I hit up. There's this woman, and she is responsible.
Let's cut to the chase.
Yeah.
It's not private.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It is a public.
Yeah, I went to someone who's responsible on these issues, resolving such issues in that channel, and she wrote me back that she checked this subject, and the group is in fact public. It is an official group of a Khan, and I wanted to post, but because of my video, they blocked posts. They blocked free posts on the group. Now the admins approve the posts, so they approve only posts that they like.
Yeah.
So I tried to publish a post telling the people of the group about this whole scenario.
They blocked posts 10 minutes after they shut down Noah's post.
Yeah.
They put up a post
After
saying,
4 years,
we've decided
Yeah.
that posts will now be vetted.
After 4 years, the group existed with open posts.
Oh, God, it's so infuriating.
And I wanted to post the story on the group after I got the answer from the official, and they wouldn't approve it. So now I've been negotiating with this woman who's responsible on
She's basically supposed to be a like oversight over these public channels to make sure that they're, she's the person responsible to make sure that the public is getting what they want out of this stuff, right? So she's like the what is it called? The attorney general or whatever of this public
Anyway,
body.
in the end, now she didn't like the original post I wrote was too long. I cut it down a little bit. Eventually, I posted it, and now she said they're supposed to approve it, and we'll see. But
it's just a microcosm probably of what goes on in Israel in general.
Yeah.
And these channels, they're not
they're very leftist.
But the problem is, I don't have a problem with Channel 12, even though they're I'm sure subsidized in many ways by the government. Everything in Israel, everything has the government's money in their, basically their hands in the government's pocket. But I'm saying Khan, which is the name of Israel's public broadcasting corporation, they're publicly funded.
1 billion shekels a year. 1 billion shekels a year is their budget. And yes, and the economy desk there, and the thing is, it goes to show how, because the people there are mainly leftists in this channel, okay? And they are sitting there every day talking about values, right?
Yeah.
But they lack the very same values they preach for. And that is the microcosm.
Yeah.
That is the microcosm
that's the paradox, the irony. But that's what I'm saying, is that this is, to me, the ultimate argument why there is it's such an outdated notion that you should have publicly funded journalism. Like, I don't get it. And this whole idea that journalism is going to be corrupted by money and by, profit margins and just like green, hungry monsters that are gonna, I don't
Hungry,
know,
hungry hippos.
proliferate fake news just for to fatten their pockets. Like
Yeah.
maybe, but then go start your own newspaper, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any
Very,
sense.
but a little victory for me. A little victory for me in the
Little.
end. Yeah, a small.
Small.
I work with small victories. That's what I do.
You just pile them up,
Little me
and then at
against
the
the
end
system.
you have like a mediocre sized pile.
Yeah.
It's maybe small to mediocre
Yeah.
size.
So Tooth Honey says hi guys from Leeds.
Tooth honey.
Tooth Honey
Hey, Tooth honey.
from Leeds, no less.
Wow. We got
That's
some fans
Scotland.
in
Where is it?
Leeds is in England.
England, not like Ireland or Scotland or
No,
something.
Leeds is in England.
Oh, okay.
Leeds.
Okay. Yeah. So we're just we want to talk about Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, we got to.
Okay.
Have you seen it?
No,
I haven't seen it either, but
I don't
I've
like
seen
his
clips.
things. Yeah.
I am torn because I like him and I don't like him. Like it's fun to watch because he puts people in such awkward. But if he would just leave the politics out of it, I'd like
Yeah.
him so much more.
Yeah,
Like,
there was the Giuliani thing, but first of all, to me, there was the whole. I forgot what really happened there, but hi from Madrid. I love your podcast, Victoria
Hey!
Franco.
hey, Franco.
Victoria Franco.
Yeah, Victoria. But I'm saying Franco because
That's
it's like
weird.
an unfortunate. We love you, Victoria, but it's an unfortunate name, no? Because there was Franco is the Spanish dictator.
Every second, it's like Cohen.
Yeah, but it's the Spanish dictator. It was Franco.
Why are you?
It's like being
We just
named-
lost
No, Victoria.
the only fan we had.
Victoria, don't leave us. I
This
heard-
not enough. This election cost us half of our listeners. Now you gotta. She says, "Haha."
It's a cool name, though. It's a cool name.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. It is. She says about. Yeah. Okay.
About the name.
About the name. Yes.
Thank you
maybe
for tuning
she's,
in, Victoria.
related.
Thank you all for tuning in.
Yes.
Really.
All 8 of you.
But so Sacha Baron Cohen and the Holocaust survivor?
Yes, in the movie, he misled a Holocaust survivor.
Yeah.
I'll open the link. You talk about Giuliani, and I'll open.
Okay, so the Sacha Baron Cohen has a new movie out. It's called Borat. It's one of his
Subsequent
characters.
film.
Yeah, subsequent film movie or movie film. And it's in his character
is good.
Borat. Borat is this, like, for those of you who don't know, is this Kazakhstani reporter who arrives to the U.S. to do like a documentary film. That's the first film. This is like the sequel.
Yeah.
And so he goes undercover because everybody recognizes him. And there's this, anyway, it's all weird. Basically, Sacha Baron Cohen pranks people. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And so in this character, he pranks the hell out of people. And he's gotten to this place where he pranks a lot of prominent people. So if you guys watched his show back in the day as, what's his name? Ali
G.
Ali G. He actually pranked President Trump. Back when he was just Donald, and now he has this bit where he pranks Giuliani into this super awkward situation where Giuliani is in a hotel room alone with what Giuliani believes to be a reporter, a young blonde woman reporter, who's in a tight dress and ends up being alone in a bedroom with her, with his hands down his pants.
Yeah.
Now, he claims he was just tucking his shirt in after she was taking off the audio equipment. You can't really totally hear what's going on there, but it looks very, very suspicious. And then, obviously, Borat comes in wearing one of his ridiculous outfits, which barely covers his genitals, yelling like, take me. I'm much better sex person than her. And Giuliani runs out of there, and it is so awkward. How do you get caught in that situation, man?
I told you, I think many grandfathers would fall for a temptation girl. How do you say it in English?
Like bait, basically.
Bait, yeah. I don't know. I think it's just disgusting. But here's from theforward.com.
Sacha Baron Cohen interviewed a Holocaust survivor for the new Borat. Now her daughter's suing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So her daughter's suing him because what?
Scroll down.
The daughter of a late Holocaust survivor is suing to have her mother's appearance in Sacha Baron Cohen's upcoming Borat sequel removed from the film, stating that the comedy mocks the Holocaust and Jewish culture. Quote. Baron Cohen interviewed Judith Dim Evans earlier this year under false pretenses with the intent of appropriating her likeness, reads the lawsuit, which was filed this week with the Superior Court of Fulton County, Georgia, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported. Baron Cohen approached Evans for an interview in what he called a documentary earlier this year. The lawsuit states her daughter said that Evans, who passed away this summer, was horrified and upset upon learning that the film was a satirical comedy. The attorney representing Evans' estate declined to tell the Journal-Constitution if Evans had signed a waiver before participating in the interview. And then the rest is just like a background, basically. This is the foreword by Knan Lipschitz.
That's very disgusting, I think.
It is kind of, yeah.
It's not cool.
It is.
You don't...
Well, I mean, I didn't see the clip. Did you see the clip of him interviewing her?
No, I think it was cut from the movie eventually. But
yeah,
it is not done.
Yeah.
It is not done. Agnieszka Kolek says honey trap is the term.
Honey trap. Yes.
And she says shalom from London.
London, Leeds. We're big in England, man.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Like the V2 rocket.
So, historical reference.
Yes.
Historical joke.
Yes.
So
you...
I don't know. Yeah, it's not, but that's his shtick. Like, like he does what you're not supposed to do. He runs around a hotel naked with another man, then gets in like promiscuous positions on stage in front of hundreds of people. It's like, you don't do that either. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you don't lure a Holocaust survivor into a satirical interview.
Luckily, he didn't send a honey trap to the Holocaust survivor.
Yeah,
that would have been...
That would have been...
one step too far.
But he took a dump in a bag at someone's house. Like, you don't do any of the stuff he does.
Yeah,
So it's like... and that's why I'm torn about him. It's either you just don't like him.
No.
Yeah, if I was like more mature, I think I would.
Yeah.
I would probably like 40-year-old me with kids will probably be like, he's garbage.
You're saying
you don't
old.
watch that. I'm saying you have the heart of an old soul.
So ready for the Burekas experience?
Oh yeah, guys, we have food waiting for us,
Yeah.
and
We have this
however
Turkish
much we
Burekas
love you,
joint.
you're not that important.
No.
My
Not like
stomach, it takes priority.
I mean, you are important, not like a spinach Burekas.
Yeah, spinach, cheese and spinach.
Yes.
It's gonna be so good
Oh, yeah.
and so much heartburn.
There's some tahini, a
So
pickle,
much, yeah.
boiled egg.
Yes. I know it doesn't sound that luring, but this is the delicacy of Israel.
The perks of
Really, of the Middle East.
The Middle East, yeah.
Wow.
So you
So
guys
good.
should be jealous.
Definitely.
Anyway, it's been nice. What a month.
Yes. what a
Hopefully we
month.
make it to the next one.
It has been a pleasure.
And,
All of you
yeah.
listeners, thank you so much for tuning
I
in.
think we can promise to our audience that we're going to talk less about Trump in the upcoming years.
I think that what they want to hear is we're going to talk less about Corona.
Ah.
But yes, we will be talking less about Trump.
We will not endorse Trump for president
until 2024.
Yeah, exactly. So
Which he could possibly win, by the way.
Yeah, he could.
If he
employs me.
I wanted to say if he's still lucid, but if he's still at least as lucid as he is today.
Or employing me.
Yes.
That's another option.
Hire Noor.
Yeah. So, guys, thanks for tuning in. This was broadcasted live exclusively on the YouTubes.
The YouTubes, yes.
So, if you also want to join this exclusive club, the
Subscribe
online Mar-a-Lago version
of
fun.
of online.
Yes.
The Mar-a-Lago of Jewish
podcasting.
of the Jewish corner of the web.
Oh.
Another comment.
Toof Honey says, we are jealous, absolutely chalishing? Is that a word? Chalishing for Israeli press now. Okay. Anyway, yeah.
That's why you don't read all comments.
We hear you. We hear you, Toof Honey. So anyway, go to YouTube,
Yes.
search Two Nice Jewish Boys, subscribe, and then you hit the notification bell, and you will also be notified on this.
Of all our content.
Yes,
and
don't
our
be
episodes.
a loser listening to this in retrospect.
Yeah, you don't want
That's
to. You don't want to be listening to the
shameful.
content late. You want to get it right as it comes out, so that
Yes.
when everybody's talking about this episode,
And the
you're
way to do
in
it,
the in,
there's one way to
not
do
in
it.
the out.
Subscribe to YouTube.
Subscribe, and also, of course, we're sponsored by The Forward.
Yes.
So go to forward.com/2NJB to get an exclusive offer for podcast listeners. You get 67% off, or in other words, 6 months for $10. What's $10? It's nothing.
Here in
It's like
Israel.
hardly a burger.
Yeah.
So again, forward.com/2NJB, exclusive offer for podcast listeners. Great source for news, for opinion, for podcasts.
And that's the
all
way
through
to
a Jewish lens.
support.
Yes. And you
us.
support us by subscribing forward.com/2NJB.
Yes. Also, Arutz Sheva,
Yes, IsraelNationalNews.com.
our friends, our buddies, go check them out. Like them on Facebook.
Yes.
Go to their website every morning to get the newest,
Latest
hottest
updates.
stuff from Israel.
Yes.
Very highly recommended.
IsraelNationalNews.com. And lastly, in Australia, because we are 360 all around the globe. The States, Israel,
We're the
Australia.
empire where the sun never sets.
Exactly. We really are. So for the Australian angle, ajn.timesofisrael.com, Australian Jewish News, also a great source. So check them out, ajn.timesofisrael.com.
And as
of course-
Eitan said, we
yes.
accept donations.
Yes, 'cause
Please
we do
help
this
us
on our
out.
free time.
You know, Hanukkah is coming.
Yes.
Donuts, Hanukkah donuts are pretty expensive
Do
now.
a mitzvah. Do a mitzvah and go to 2njb.com.
Are we going to do Sufganiyot tasting again
/donate.
this year?
I mean, like,
We gotta.
we don't have to film it, but I'd love to
Okay.
taste some donuts.
So, guys, if you want us to do Sufganiyot tasting, we need to
Comment.
afford... comment, and we need to afford the Sufganiyot. So go to 2njb.com/donate and send some money in our direction.
Yes.
I promise not to donate it to the new
Israeli
Israeli fund.
Exactly.
And that is it,
if
guys.
you hate us, you can donate in the name of a friend that you
Yes.
really, an enemy that you really despise.
Yes.
So if you really, really, really despise us, one of those tens of people that stopped listening to us recently because
Tens
we
of
love
thousands.
Trump. Yeah, tens of thousands. All those comments we saw of I'm not listening anymore. If you're by chance listening to this, donate in the name of an enemy.
I have one final request before we go, guys.
Yes.
It's very important. So if you are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, the thing is, guys, in Apple Podcasts, you can review the show. And because of the last few months, we have a bunch of bad reviews there because of our politics. And
Not because we suck. We
No.
promise it's not because we suck.
It's because, of the politics. And as you know, like, we talk about politics here and there, but mostly it's we have guests and we talk about everything.
It's a good Jewish podcast.
Yes. So please go to through iTunes or through Apple Podcasts to the review section and leave a good review.
Yeah.
It will help us to balance the hate.
Yes.
It's the Jewish thing. to
Show
do.
us some love.
Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
See you on the next one. Bye.
Nice.